Nash, and you are watching the Agile Lohas World 4 Hours of Shanghai. Thank you so much for joining us here in the season opener for the 2019-2020 Asian Le Mans Series. And this time around, the series has attracted teams from more than 13 different countries and also drivers from more than 22 countries. That is really impressive. And here in Shanghai, we see the arrival of many new teams, new faces and new drivers, but we're also excited to be welcoming back some returning teams ready to put up a fight, and some are even here to defend their victory.
Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. I know lots of people tuning in for what's been an exciting lead-in here with lots of announcements coming of exciting teams and new cars and a brand new top class in the Asia Le Mans Series, the fastest cars we have ever seen in the Asia Le Mans Series, the new Gibson-engined LMP2 cars, but lots to look forward to.
Let's have a look at the Shanghai International Circuit now. 5.451 kilometers in length with 16 turns in total, 9 rights and 7 lefts. It's a fast track that starts with a punishing opening 2 corners that fall away into a very tight 3 and 4 before drivers can pick up speed through 5, 6 and 7. After that, 9 through 12 are relatively slower, but they're basically the setup to a huge 1.2 kilometers straight between 13 and 14 that takes you back through 15 and 16 and onto the home straight again. Qualifying sessions for GT and LMP2 happen on Saturday. Let's have a look back at all the action.
We're back at the Asia Le Mans Series and qualifying 9 of the GT3 cars in this GT class from around Asia, with just one of these cars from Europe and a great mix of fabulous cars out for a 15-minute quick-fire qualifying session. FIS Team AAI are back in the Asia Le Mans Series after winning the championship 2 seasons ago. The number 90 car was very much in the mix, but Hub also Corsa, locally based team here in Asia, the number 27 car with not locally based in LMP3 would go up against the Normas and a couple of extra Ligiers in the LMP3 class. The number 12 car from Ace 1 Valoba Corsa was in the mix, but later on in the session it would be others that would be to the fore. Great to have though the brightly coloured number 12 car, the Italian-Japanese fusion in this championship this year. The Graf Racing car, David Drew, the number 9 car, the Norma M30 LMP3, but if a wobble through the penultimate turn, was in the mix as well. Drew looking to see whether or not he could put the tricolour liveried Norma onto pole position. But at the death of the session, it would be Garrett Grist, Canadian driver, stepping over from United Autosports into the Asia Le Mans Series with rivals in Europe, Nielsen Racing, and moving over from a Ligier to a Norma chassis. He would leapfrog Nigel Moore right at the end. 34, the Inter-Europol LMP2 car in the hands of Matthias Besch, part of a 4-car train at the top of the standings. But Roberto Merri in the Eurasia entered 36 car, the Spanish ex Formula 1 driver with some LMP2 experience on his CV, would come through to make the first pole position in the Gibson era in the Asian Le Mans Series, and the Ligier JS P217 it is that beat out the Oricas and the Dallara. That's what it means to Roberto Merri in his first race of 2019.
Let's have a look at the start positions for today's race. It was a huge battle in qualifying between Eurasia Motorsport, Thunderhead Carlin Racing and G-Drive Racing by Algarve. They take up the top 3 positions. Roberto Merri on pole position there for Eurasia Motorsport. Following them, Inter-Europol Endurance in 4th, K2 China Racing in 5th, and Eurasia with their 2nd car in 6th. 7th, and RLR M Sport with their Orica 05 Nissan in 8th. LMP3 follow them in 10th, 11th and 12th. We've got Nielsen Racing with that first Norma M30 Inter-Europol competition, and that second Nielsen Racing car in 12th. Graf Ace 1 Valoba Corsa in 13th and 14th, and then of course we get to the GTs. Hub Auto Corsa taking the pole position in that GT class, 15th overall. Spirit of Race, the second Ferrari 48 GT3 in 16th, and following them the Station Racing, that Aston Martin Vantage, the beautiful Aston Martin Vantage in 17th. Viper Nisa Racing, the out of place LMP3 in 18th you could say, and that follows on by Car Guy, FIS Team AAI, T2 Motorsports and J-Lock.
ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited to be here with you all to witness the 2019 and 2020 Asian Le Mans Series Agile Le Has World 4 Hours Shanghai opening ceremony. Hereby, on behalf of Agile, I would like to express our sincere welcome to heartfelt gratitude to all distinguished guests and friends who have come from afar. Asian Le Mans Series represents the Le Mans spirit of endurance, passions, and dreams. Goes hands in hand with agile philosophies, lifestyle of lifetime. Le Mans Pattern Time is also one of the core products lying in the Le Has World Industrial IP launched by Agile this year. Agile and Asian Le Mans Series will take this event partnership as an opportunity to jointly promote the landing of Le Mans Pattern Time in China and forge a new land internationality in racing industry. Finally, may the 2019 to 2020 Asian Le Mans Series Shanghai event be a complete success. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Thank you.
For the start of the Agile Le Has World 4 Hours of Shanghai is the Thunderhead car in Dallara. It's a great mixed grid of LMP2 cars, LMP2 AM cars, the LMP3 cars coming through our shot now, and the GT cars behind. Watch for the lights, and then watch for the blue, green, the blue, whites and red car to go. Lights are still red, still red, still red. Now we go, and the 36 car gets the power down. Jack Manchester to the outside in the Dallara though, gets a good line there. He's not going to get the lead. 36 leads up the inside. There's a try for second place from the 26 car, the G-Drive car. Doesn't make it through though. It's order restored from the grid at the moment. Watching the Inter-Europol, Ligier, the 34 car, having another look. Again, the 26 car this time does make it upside of the inside of the Dallara. 26 car, the G-Drive by Algarve, Iris 01. First ever Russian entered team in the Asian Le Mans Series. Jack Manchester, though, has not given that up, but a tussling towards the back as the 33 car makes up progress. 21 car has made 3 places up from the start of the race in LMP3, runs second. The 12 car rather, that is the Ace 1 Valorba Corsa car. But Aidan Reid is away and clear at the moment in the Eurasia car. Jack Manchester under pressure from the 34 Inter-Europol Endurance, Ligier. With the K2 Achino car, that's the black Orica behind the Inter-Europol car, very familiar colours of course, looking to get onto terms as well. Jack Manchester looks to be struggling for grip here at the moment in the Dallara. Car has been super quick all weekend. This is a pumped up Carlin Racing team. The RLRM Sports Orica 05, bit of a twitch there as they pull onto the main straight, the back straight here. This is where the cars can really stretch their legs. There is the LMP2 grid stretching out. Aidan Reid getting away at the moment from James French. For the moment, Jack Manchester's keeping the snapping Ligier and Orica at bay. Manchester coming round for the final turn to complete the first lap. It's been neat and tidy stuff from the whole field. Through they come to complete the first lap. Aidan Reid is 2 seconds ahead here of James French, hanging on in the Aris, the 26 car. Jack Manchester a further couple of seconds back with that pair of LMP2s now battling amongst themselves, and Manchester beginning to get his head down. Here though is our GT leader, the number 77 car, D-Station Racing. Great start from Fuji-san.
Yeah, very quiet in qualifying compared to the Ferraris, but has made a lightning start on when it counts on race day.
He has indeed, and is pulling away from the field here. So Fuji-san, one of the few professional drivers to be starting this race for the most part. Most of the teams have chosen to start their gentleman drivers early on. And he's actually now with the number 3 car. That is the 5th place car now in the LMP3 class. So this turbo V8 powered Aston Martin, the new shape, new look, new everything, Aston Martin, finding real success around the world in all forms. This is the same platform that Aston Martin Racing use for their GTE and GT4 cars. In GT3 racing, it's winning races, it's winning titles, won in Britain, it's been winning in Europe. So 36 car goes through, that's the completion of lap 12. And it's been a very good start indeed, as in the background there, moving to the inside to try to get by the other two cars and get onto the tail of the 36 car comes the 26. So it's Aidan Reed, James French has still got to clear the Norma to lap that car, and then we will have the two leading cars, I think about 3.5, 4 seconds between them, with traffic now out of the way for the time being, and has cleared that car. Just see in the background the black and orange Iris. Interesting little fusion there, G-Drive Racing and the Algarve Pro team. Remember, Algarve Pro Racing, family-run team of Sam and Stuart Cox, indeed,
Asian Le Mans Series,
and previous championship winners. Just looking to see what the gap is. It is 25 seconds.
Wow.
And he is absolutely herring away here, giving a mighty advantage for his teammates to take over. These cars through around an hour on the fuel load, the LMP3 cars. And,
well, it looks like John Corbett has run into more trouble. He's been given a bit of a smack on the wrist about track limits at turn 16. Remember, he spun out a little bit earlier on, had to continue.
Well, John, you know, new to LMP2, he'll be finding the limits of these cars. That's the leader putting a lap on the Viper Nisa Ligier in 13 laps. That's a mark of the progress, the pace here. As you can see behind there, the other bright yellow car is still Mira Konopka, has no answer at the moment to the pace of Bressan. Bressan into the top 10 overall in this car.
Yeah, definitely punching above his weight.
Cars spread out down the back of the back straight. Real drag strip again. Kimura-san looking to see whether or not he can force the error from the Hub Auto Corsa man.
Line gets shut down. I wonder if this was actually the ingredients of that little contact that they may have had.
Wide.
Oh,
and
he's got very wide.
Runs wide, and that gives Kimura-san the opportunity. Takes the place.
Exactly what he was looking for.
Looking to see whether or not he can push him deep into that. It's going to be a drive-through penalty, though, for that car, the number 7 car, for causing the collision with the 27 car. So he's wanted to get ahead here and to get some ground to reduce the damage that's been caused by a bit of a previous excursion. So we've got the ARC Bratislava car looking to get by the number 7. There's Kai Cozzolino on the pit perch. He's not going to be very impressed with that. He'll have heard about that one. He was keeping his emotions very much to himself.
That is the real issue, because of course turning up without any fault of their own that late means that there were some very special requirements that were set up by ACO and by the race control, of course, to actually get them qualified and raceable.
Critical moment in the race here as the leading pair come up on some mixed traffic. We just had a quick look at the Astra Veloce Racing BMW. There's no doubt that Jack Manchester's lap time was a little off theirs, but then again, Jack has had limited running. He's had some real problems this season, a couple of really very nasty accidents in Europe. Great to see his spirit is absolutely unbowed, and he's been a super young guy to spend some time with in the paddock here this weekend. These guys at Thunderhead Carlin Racing are up for the fight, and I think once Jack gets his head into this, and his head is a long way up from most people, 6'7" tall, Jack Manchester. He's a very tall lad. Surprised we're not seeing his helmet through the sunroof on that thing. But he is really up for this, enjoying sports car racing despite the trials and tribulations. Big slide there wide for the T2 car. That's going to allow the BMW the opportunity to have another look to get by. Did allow the two LMP2 cars to get through.
Smart move from the Inter Europol to go find the gap and just go straight through it.
This is the 96, that is the K2 Achino racing car. This is the battle for 4th position. Kuba Shimoski, by the way, has dropped back from Jack Manchester, put himself now in danger of losing 4th position to Sean Tong in this first ever Japanese entered LMP2 effort from K2 Achino Racing.
Now that is the Thunderhead going past the ARC Bratislava car.
Absolutely.
Still in 10th overall, second in class.
The Eurasia crew from the Philippines go to work on the 36 car. This is where the teamwork starts to come in. It's a full team game in endurance sports.
Yeah, full strategy.
See there, the 3 drivers' names on the rear of the
Jack Manchester
cockpit.
in as well. Yeah.
So they're all coming in. The Keiichi Uchino car stays out for a further lap though, and will, I think, take the lead here.
So P2's at 22 laps, coming in for a mass pit stop.
So
roughly
fuel
45 minutes
window beginning to close, and let's hope the Keiichi Uchino guys have got this right. I'm sure they have.
Now, we've seen some cars in other classes come in too early. This is absolutely bang on strategy when they're supposed to come.
But have lost the lead. Was that the Tower Events car? Is that the 26 car? 26 car is in the lead.
Well,
26 car. We said, well, that was about the pit crews, but into the lead goes to 26. James French stayed aboard that car. Nathan Reed, I think, has stayed aboard the 36 as well. So that is a change. Well, say takes the lead. He won't take the lead because the Orica, the number 96 car, would have gone through for the lead because he did not stop, but has taken the position from the 36 car. But of the cars that have stopped, it is the 26 that has gone ahead. Just looking at what we've got by way of pit stop times for those cars. It was 1 minute 10 as the number 1 car. This is our first chance to get a look at the very handsome New Zealand colours. It's a driver change for the number 1 Eurasia car. 1 minute 10 in pits for the lead car when it came in, the 36. 6 seconds quicker for the 26, and actually a delay in the pit stop there for the Dallara. It's 1:18, but that was a driver change for them. That may have made a bit of a difference. Ben Barnicoat is now aboard the number 45 car.
And it looks like there might be something happening with this Eurasia car in the pits. They're definitely looking around a bit, pushed it back a little.
Much longer pit stop.
Than they
that
expected
was
for
tyres
sure.
as well for that car.
Well, it looks like everything's back to normal now, and that should be heading off. Yes, it is.
See whether or not it's Daniel Gaunt or Masataka Yanagida in that car as the car comes out. Yanagida-san, another man with a fair amount of GT racing experience. That is the RLRM Sport crew from Bolton in the northwest of England, going to work. Driver change there as well. Now, I'm pretty certain
be getting in?
Doesn't look to be John. It could be John Ferrano's helmet.
Andrew Higgins, the other.
Andrew Higgins,
driver.
a name that's not widely known in endurance racing circles, but I think we're going to be impressed by his speed. We'll have a talk about him. It's been something of a trade in endurance racing circles, is find those guys that perhaps have been under the radar.
Diamonds in the rough.
Well, yeah, have raced well, raced hard in something like equivalent machinery, but Andrew Higgins, I think, could be a bit of a surprise package here. So let's wait and see.
Just making sure
that is a timed pit
Yeah,
stop.
they're timed pit stops, of course, one of the
for the LMP2 AM teams.
hallmarks of this series. Just got to make sure that you hit the exact times that you're needed to have, I should say, when you do make your
racing
pit
car
stops.
on pit lane as well. So as the 59 car leaves, it is John Ferrano, the car owner, aboard the car. So John will be settling himself in here now at the action from the first 60 minutes for the Agile Loas World 4 Hours of Shanghai. Cars gridding up, and a neat and tidy start to the first race of the season as Aidan Reed got the pole-setting Eurasia car away cleanly. Behind, though, tussling with the next 2 cars. The 51 car in the hands of Pivanetti in the mix, and the 3 other Ferraris in line astern with the... We get our first chance to see actually that impact between the 2 Ferraris. That went back, the penalty went the way of the car guy, number 7 car, Kimura-san, the man blamed for that incident. To the lead of GT early on, though, went Tomonori Fuji in the number 77 car as the LMP3 pack sorted themselves out, and that went the way very substantially indeed of the Ace-1 Valour Corsa. Ligier got to the front and then was not seen again as he jetted off into the distance. Fine battle between these 3 cars, though. Tony Wells fending off the attentions of Martin Hipper, the Nielsen Racing Norma fending off the Inter-Europol Ligier for lap after lap until that move was made. Here, though, is the ace-born Villorba Corsa Ligier, and Alessandro Bressan was way off and into the distance, is still there, away some 20 plus seconds ahead. Tussle as well amongst the pack in LMP2, with Jack Manchester doing a fine job of keeping the Dallara in the action and in with a shout. The two black Ligiers, the number 33 Inter Europol car, number 1 Eurasia car, getting together there. LMP2 AM led by Arja Maini, jetting off into the lead in the 59 RLRM Sports Orica 05. The 36 car would lead to the pit stops. Great run from the Eurasia man, Aidan Reid in the 36 Ligier. The 26 car would be in close contention as the cars came to the pits and would take the lead out of the pit stops. It is G-Drive Racer by Algarve that lead the race after the hour. And this is the battle at the moment. Ben Barnicoat now with Aidan Reid. This is the battle for second position. The Briton looking to get past the Australian to take second place in this race. Great to see a bit of a chassis battle in this race. We've got the Aurus Orica chassis leading away by about 10 seconds from this pair. Now Ben Barnicoat's got his head down. It's a bit of a couple of slow laps for Aidan Reid. Maybe the tyres going off a little on the Ligier, but he's fending off Barnicoat at the moment. But for how much longer before the Dallara man can find his way by? So 26 off and out of this picture, but this is the battle for second position, and that was the mistake that's allowed the Dallara through. The quick lock up through turn 3 there from Aidan Reid, going slightly wide. That was all that Ben Barnicoat needed. He's through and clear. The Dallara now is going to be looking to do what he can do, see what he can do to close the gap on the Aurus ahead. That gap now down under 10 seconds. But we've got there two class leaders in the same shot, the GT leader, the beautiful green Aston Martin, and the bright yellow Ligier pops out there from...
Finally through. Is that Alessandro Bressan?
It is.
It is.
And
LMP3 leader.
6th position overall for
Little
Ligier. He has got 37 seconds on Martin Hipper, and indeed the LMP3 leader too. So LMP3 and GT leaders pitting. Crew will go to work. It is a change of driver for that team. They will be, I'm sure, utterly delighted with the efforts of Alessandro Bressan.
For sure. Well over 30 seconds on the lead, leading from start to finish. Absolutely no pressure on him at all. Cut through the back markers in the traffic.
Lead gap overall, by the way, now down under 4 seconds, and that is within reach on a single lap if the lap times continue the way they've been going. Although it's fair to say, I think James French has had the hurry-up call. His lap times dipping underneath 2 minutes the first time in a wee while. But Ben Barnicoat in the 157s, 2 laps, I think.
Martin Hipper and Tony Wells both in the pits as well. So leaders in LMP3 and GT now making their first pit strategies, or making them come alive, I should say. And it's looking pretty solid from Villorba Corsa.
Just 2 sets of tyres for these LMP cars allowed, so they will likely have to cycle tyres back around here for qualifying on the race.
Leading their class in LMP3 is Ace1 Villorba Corsa, and the driver that just got out of the car is, of course, Bressan here with me. How was that stint you did?
Well, I have to say a pretty good start. You know, I was able to pass from 5th to 1st in the first lap, so that was a good thing. It was in our objective, and then I just tried to build a gap as much as I could while managing the car, of course, because it's the start of the race. So far, I think we're looking good.
And actually what we've got at the moment is 3 cars, the 34, the 36 and the 96 in that group are battling for 3rd position now.
Yeah.
That's because of the stop for Eurasia Motorsports, dropped Nick Foster into a bit of a battle, but Kuba Shimowski now is in 3rd position. and is about to be lapped by the leader. So the leader,
indeed.
that is the sign of the pace here. The Cooper doesn't want that to happen.
And that means that, yes, he's lapping up to 3rd spot. That's overall.
And this is Nick Foster looking to get
Very,
by.
very fast
This
indeed.
is for position, but he's a lap down on the leader. So Nick Foster's going to be looking to stick, if he can, with the Dallara and get by to unlap himself. Remember, this is the 36 car coming out of the pits. It led the first part of this race. He's going to be looking to see what he can do to get back past the 45 car, to get back onto the lead lap. So at the moment, that's Foster up into 3rd, having taken Kubishimowski on that lap and looking to do the double. Go side by side there. You could just see going out of shot with the leader. Coming down the main straights here. He's going to the inside. He's just looking to see what he can do to outbrake Ben Barnicoat. I think Barnicoat's going to let him go. And then a pressurised drinks bottle goes in there.
Always good to see the protocol
Oh,
that goes in there.
that was a
Always
fumble.
a little bit of a fumble,
That
yeah.
was a drop the wheel nut. So he had another one on his belt. That's why they do that. So not too much of a delay. Remember, they dropped a bit of time in the earlier pit stop. Car off the jacks. Fires and goes. So who's aboard? The number 45 car. Led to the pit stops. That will put James French for the moment back into the lead.
Yeah, my stint went very well. Got in the car P3. Jack had a nice clean start. And then I knew that we had a little bit of a bigger gap than when we pitted because we took 2 left-hand side tyres. So yeah, just the car was good, pushed hard. Managed to overtake the 2 cars in front of me and get, I think, about a 12-second gap. So just did my job. Now Jack's back in the car, 4 new tyres. So see what he can do. I'll get back in after this next stint.
So leader in LMP3, it is still a Ligier 1-2. It is the number 12 car, Lantieri, ahead of Martin Hipper. Tony Wells stays in 3rd position. He's fending off effectively by about 5 seconds the Graf Racing car, Sebastien Paget. And then some gap then before we get down to the Viper Niza Racing car, and then the delayed Nielsen Racing number 3 car. We've not any information as to what caused that delay for them.
So this is
that's the problem.
It.
And that's a major problem.
Well, that car has not been having a great time today.
That is big damage as well to the rear of the number 90 car. That is Yunsan Chen aboard the car.
And the only driver that's been in that
see
car.
his helmet. There is Yunsan Chen over to the left-hand side. That was definitely the driver out of the car. Look in the background there, away to the outside. That's the BMW turning around there, across the track, fast off the track, then hits the barrier with the rear end, close to Marshall's post there, and up and on the barrier.
And now let's have a look back at hour 2 of the race.
No shortage of drama here at Shanghai for the Agile Lohas World 4 Hours of Shanghai. This is the hour 2 update, and lots to talk about. There is the Graf Racing LMP3 car. Bit of a tussle and a battle there between the 51 Spirit of Race and the number 7 car from the Car Guide team. 77. The Aston Martin kept the lead through to the pit stops, lost it to the Lamborghini with quicker pit work. That is the big drama in the hour, though. It's a big shunt for the number 90 Team AI BMW. Ended up on the barrier, facing the wrong way down the main straight. Jean Sanchez is fine, the number 90 car is not and is out of the race. That, though, is the lead car in the GT race now, after better pit work from the J-Lock team than the D-Station team. The Lamborghini Huracan, the number 88 car, now in the hands of Yusako Shibata, leads the race, sits at the moment at the back of the safety car line. That's the car it was doing battle with to the pit stops, the D-Station car. Second in the order in that little group, but the car that was going to the lead of the race with a great run to the front from Ben Barnicoat, now back with Jack Manchester aboard the number 45 Thunderhead car in Dallara. Dominant force in LMP3 and a surprise package, the Ace 1 Valour Corsa car. Alessandro Bressan, a fabulous opening double stint from him. Gabriele Lancieri now is tasked with carrying on the attack in the number 12 Ligier. The 36 car, meanwhile, fought its way back to the lead lap in the hands of Nick Foster. Green flags, and away they go. 600 horsepower per car in those lead trio. And we're back to green flag racing. Hergenboom is with Manchester. A big lock up there for the Englishman ahead.
And that's
But
what
it's
we were
kept
talking about.
Kept that in line. It's no harm, no foul there. We've seen the Dallara perhaps drift a little wide in this turn, but Hergenboom not close enough to do anything about it. Nick Foster's taking a nibble at the back of the Auris though. Dallara, Auris, Ligier. That's a very unusual 1-2-3 in LMP2 race, and it's great to see it. Thunderhead by Carlin, number 45, Jack Manchester, looking to do what he can do to edge out any kind of advantage over the number 26 Auris. Leonard Hergenboom, though, has got his mirrors full of the fully mustachioed Nick Foster.
And we were saying that it is an interesting time when you come back up off FCY speeds back to full speed again. We've just heard of a yellow flag at turn 14, a double yellow at turn 14. In fact, that's just at the end of the straight, the end of the long straight.
That is rather odd, bearing in mind we've just gone green. Coming down to restart the race. He's on the inside here.
Keep your eye on that car on the inside.
What has happened here to Gabriele Lancieri?
From what we heard, it absolutely stopped on the track.
I wonder if there was a hit there, because we didn't see an impact.
It's still, I mean, this is at FCY speeds. There it is.
And he's just stopped.
Dead stop.
Nick Foster goes from third to first. Let's hope he got his trigger points correct. So Nick Foster leads the race. We didn't see the lead three as it went back to green. But third becomes first, second stays second, but overtakes Jack Manchester. Manchester loses 2 positions on the restart, but what we don't know is whether or not they got the trigger point right.
Yeah,
Let's
and
wait and see.
We'll keep you updated on Kei Kozolino. Oh, not Kei Kozolino, sorry, but it is...
Gabriele
it is Kei.
Lancieri,
No, it is Kei Kozolino, car guy.
Indeed.
To see whether he did, in fact, jump the gun a little bit there, but that's deep trouble if he did.
So now it's 36 and 26 and 45. In LMP3, the new order now is Nigel Moore ahead of Gabriele Lancieri, and Sebastian Paget in the Graf racing car is now in third position. Colin Noble is going to be right with the Graf car as the cars get back up to speed. So it's an awful lot of new realities here. As up the inside goes Pierre Guidi.
Has he got enough?
Giancarlo Fisichella, that's a touch. So Kozolino once again making it very clear. You're going to have to prove it. That's another touch. And another.
Fact, it's almost just Siamese going through there.
Mirror, mirror on the door, will you be there anymore? There you go.
I don't think so. It's expensive mirrors as well. Anyway, Kei Kozolino manages to find himself up front. That was the corner where he actually managed to take the lead under that FCY, but now it is literally tooth and nail between these two Ferraris. Meanwhile, back with the Ferraris. Kei Kozolino defending the line. Guidi trying on the inside. And again, they're side by side. I think he's through this time.
No,
he's not. Oh, he's almost
going to force it to do it the hard way.
And that is demanding the line.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing Kei could do about that.
Just flashes the badge he's got that says World Champion, let me through, in the mirror, and away he goes. Nick Foster. Good start to his LMP2 career from Nick Foster. Leonard Hergenboom ahead, the more experienced P2 driver. And Foster's not let him go quickly. It's tenths in the lap times, and that's all. In a car that, it should be said, in European competition, the Oreca, that has proven to be much the quicker car.
That's right, the branded Auris, but fully Oreca car. And that is the actual track position there between the G-Drive and Eurasia, just 2.3 seconds now.
That's the gap, visual gap there. 78 laps under the wheels of the number 26 car leads the race. This is the G-Drive Racing by Algarve car, which you see Kang Ling in the number 4 car. This leads LMP2 AM. The 26 car 13.6 seconds ahead of Ben Barnicoat.
And there's a change for G-Drive.
That
would be Roman Rusinov.
Driver. That is Roman Rusinov.
The man who lit up qualifying. And the first time we actually saw this car in action yesterday, and Roman was just shades off the pole position.
Spot a quick chat with Roman as we arrived at the circuit today. His usual effusive self about his racing. Disappointed that traffic got in the way of a potential pole position. I think he was heading for pole. But how close are they? They are 10 seconds back from the BMW, but Ross Gunn has reeled in this gap, and he's now got a Lamborghini in his sights.
Well, Ross Gunn, of course, was the man in the car for qualifying, put in some very fast laps, and what actually was talking to Nadia, said it was a very, very good partnership in terms of the team. So we should expect him to be putting in some fast laps now. But it's amazing, Graham, that this used to be the front runners, the top two. And because of whatever happened, they've literally just been shunted back.
It's going to be whatever happened with pit stops under green and under yellow.
Yeah.
Because it certainly wasn't done on pure pace. The pace between the top three is pretty standard here. Quick, but standard. But Ross Gunn is the man on the move here, and I think he's going to want to try and clear this Lamborghini as quickly as possible. So I think he'll fancy he could close the gap to Klingman here. The car, of course.
There he is. Oh, it's a very tight
stop. That's what they've had to do. They're going to put it on the dollies.
Yeah, right, and then they're going to wheel him round.
And they're going to swivel the car around. It's going to cost them time, this. No doubt about it.
But it is possibly the best thing they could have done.
They've got to put the car down to actually fuel it. That's going to have cost them 5 or 6 seconds. It's another driver change. Since Roberto Meri getting in the car for the first time, there goes the 34 car. They're very unlucky, actually. That you know, just a few seconds more, and that would have cost them a few seconds less.
Well, Roberto Meri made such an impact with qualifying. Has already scored the team their first point in LMP2 for the year with that pole position that he got. That's how it works, of course. You get position points, single points for poles.
More drivers introduced and preceding Yuki Hirata, by the way, as in the background comes the 33 car for its 3 minutes 50 stop. I hope they've done that in time. Is it 3 or 5 laps on these regulations? There's no real drama being shown, but that seemed quite a long time before bringing that car in.
It seemed a long time.
Now bear in mind, there was time enough for the 34 car to do a full pit stop, then come in and take 3 minutes 50, which is another 2 laps.
Yep.
Before we saw the 33, might be 5 laps.
Foster here with us, of course, from Team Racer. You gave us quite a nice battle there at the front. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was good racing. Obviously, the full course yellow, we took an opportunity to make a splash. So we basically are slightly off strategy with the other guys now, but we got the jump on that full course yellow green, got into the lead. Didn't quite have the pace early on, so dropped back, but then started to come back again at the end before they pitted, and then obviously we're off strategy a bit now. So not really sure. I think there's still a lot more to play out, but anyway, we'll see what happens.
There it is.
There it is.
Door open.
On the track, door open. That does not look good. Already lost the lead in LMP2 and 7th position overall to Arjun Mani, who's now taken the lead again in the RLRM Sports Orica.
It's not electronics. I saw the back lights on; they were flashing on. So it's something
it's not
else.
Those electronics.
Yeah, it could be. It could be other.
Out comes the BMW and the Aston Martin. Well, we came out of a safety car period. This for the recovery of the stricken number 90 BMW. The AAI car ended up on the barriers after miscalculation by John Sanchez. And formation pit stopping from the Ferraris in hour 3. Slight shuffling of the order. Went back to green, and the order would change pretty quickly. This was going to green after the safety car, Jack Manchester. Just a quick lock up there, but retaining the lead there, doing very well to do so. As the Ferraris decided they're going to have another one-make battle in the middle order. But we were very soon back after further door-to-door action. This time, this was Alessandro Pierguidi with Kai Cozzolino. Nobody respecting anybody else's reputation there whatsoever. Carried on for some time, this, before the Italian managed to get by the Italian-Japanese Kai Cozzolino in the car. To the lead in GT went the BMW, the Astro Veloce BMW. That lead in part gifted through the way in which the rapid-fire series of cautions and safety car came. But then we went back almost immediately to a full course caution, and that was because the dominant leader in LMP3, the Ace1 Valour Corsa car, ground to a halt for a full minute, losing the lead to the this car, the number 13 Inter Europol car, Nigel Moore, saying thank you very much, we'll take that. The defending champions moving into a dominant lead in LMP3 and carrying on in defence of their title. Jack Manchester handed the car back over to Ben Barnicoat after losing the lead on the restart from the full course yellow to the G-Drive racing car and the Eurasia number 36. There's trouble in store, meanwhile, for the number 33 and 34 Inter Europol Endurance Ligiers in P2. Both of those are judged to have effectively passed the pace they had gone, but passed by they shouldn't have taken. Nick Foster handing the car over after his first ever stint in an LMP2 car to Roberto Merri, our pole setter. The lead sits with the Aris 01, handed over after hour 3 with Leonard Hergenboom to Mr. G-Drive, Roman Rusinov.
As we look at the track map again and look at the key points that where we've actually seen the incidents, it's really been down at the bottom, isn't it?
It's turn 13, turn 14 and 15 where we've had the dramas. A couple of dramas at turn 1 as well.
Yep.
But pretty clean racing aside from that. We're back now. There's the 36 car. That's our renewed leader in LMP2, AM. There, by the way, is going to be at some point pretty soon, in fact already is now, up into second in LMP2, Rick Ware Racing.
Unbelievable end to the weekend for them if that continues the way it is.
A car that was in a ship 24 hours ago. We're going to go down to Martin Hipper in the pit lane with Nadia.
The car that is leading their class right now in LMP3, well, defending their title in the car is Nigel Moore, Martin Hipper with us. So how are you feeling confident about this? Because we have very little time to go.
Yeah, at the moment we're really confident. We're leading the class by more than 1 minute and 30 seconds. So now it's up to Nigel to bring the car home.
Thoroughly nice bloke, Martin Hipper.
Absolutely. Now having trouble in LMP2 with those two stop and goes, but absolutely no problems in LMP3.
None whatsoever, and very highly competitive addition to the Asia Le Mans Series. Just saw there, by the way, the lead gap in the GT class as Roman Rusinov goes up the inside of the Volvo Corsa car, goes wide, he's going to lose the lap, he goes to lose the lead rather.
Well, to take your eyes off that corner just for 1 second and Ben Barnicoat was all over him.
That was Roman Rusinov looking to put the car between the two of them. I'm afraid missing his braking point, running wide, unable to actually get the car turned in. Realised at that point he had to give Ben Barnicoat back to the lead of the race.
And now at that speed, and you just saw the way he just yanked himself into a turn 1. You'd have to say that
a big slide, same place as we saw the Dallara slide last time, and that was Roman Rusinov doing very well to gather that back up. Apologies there, Jivan.
No problems at all. As I said, when it comes down to it, now both of them have a reason to go extremely fast for the next 35 minutes, but we still have that threat of Harry Tinknell coming in for Thunderhead. So right now, that could be the most significant move.
5.5 minutes, and whatever's left of the lap they're on, and the one beyond for glory.
And how many times, Graham, have we seen important, significant moments happen in these last few corners?
This is our leader in GT.
Yeah, Ross Gunn, D-Station Racing.
It's car 96, I'm sorry, it's the Orica. It was the 4th placed Orica that was slow on track, not the 33. So Tinknell on the final lap of the race, they crossed the line, 0.476 of a second. Is it going to be the first win for the Aris Brad Badge car, with yellow flags at turn 9 for the stricken K2 Agino car? That's happened in the last 2 minutes of the race. Bitter goal for them. Or is it going to be the first win for the Dallara chassis in the Asia Le Mans Series, and the first win too for Carlin Racing and for Thunderhead in LMP2 Racing. Certainly looks set to be their first podium.
Oh, a little bit shaky there. No, he didn't. So another chance now.
But neither, though, because of the yellow flag, did the...
and he's trying on the inside.
That might even have been a touch there. If it was a tiny one. Harry Tinkler looking to force the error. Go for the inside as they come through onto the main straight. And he takes the lead.
He's done it.
Takes the lead. Picked it beautifully. And now it's going to be about breaking into the penultimate turn. Takes the lead with 2 corners to go in the Agile Lohas World 4 Hours of Shanghai. Harry Tinkler in the Thunderhead Carlin Dallara. Roman Rusinov is going to see what he can do on the brakes. This is the corner. He's struggled. He slides wide again. Tinkler's got it.
Wow, that's unbelievable stuff.
Slow car. It's another slow car ahead. Final lap, final corner. Amazing stuff in the final 2 corners. Harry Tinkler, Ben Barnicoat, Jack Manchester, they take the win in the opening round of the 2019-2020 Asia Le Mans Series. The Agile Lohas World 4 Hours of Shanghai goes the way of Dallara. 13 car is going to come home, the dominant winner. That's what it means to Carlin Racing, guys. This has been a really tricky year for them. Jack Manchester and Ben Barnicoat, you can see them in the background there. Here comes into Europol home. Formation finished with the 34 car. 13 car takes the win in their defence of their title. That's Jack Manchester on the right, Ben Barnicoat on the left. That is a brilliant, brilliant result for them. Roman Rusinov will be absolutely heartbroken. And there's Ben Barnicoat. He's saying now to Harry Tinkler, you only did 28 minutes. That's a lazy effort there from Harry Tinkler. But no, look, I mean, what can you say? Joy on the face of those guys.
Here are the full results from the Agile Lohas World 4 Hours of Shanghai. In LMP2, Thunderhead Carlin Racing snatched a win from G-Drive Racing by Algarve with just 3 corners left to go, while pole sitters Eurasia Motorsport came in 3rd. In LMP2 AM, RLR M Sport won the class as ARC Bratislava retire, with Rickware Racing taking 2nd spot. In LMP3, Inter-Europol's Martin Hipper and Nigel Moore take the class win, with Graf and Nielsen Racing, both newcomers to the series, picking up their first points in 2nd and 3rd respectively. And in the GT class, D-Station Racing claimed their first win of the year, with J-Lock finishing a close 2nd and Astro Veloce Motorsports following in 3rd place.
What a 4 hours we had in prospect as the grid lined up. 24 cars would take the start for the first race of the season in the Asia Le Mans Series, the Agile Lohas World 4 Hours of Shanghai. It was Aidan Reed going for the lead. Battles up and down the order in GT. This car, the number 17 BMW, would take the lead midway through the race, and the Ferrari efforts, I'm afraid, were rather compounded by problems between themselves. Lamborghini, J-Lock, they were another team very much in the mix and took the lead too for substantial parts of the race. The number 88 car, the number 13 car coming into shot there, but in the background that was the number 90 FIS Team AI BMW out of the race with a dramatic incident for Zhongshan Chen. He's fine, the BMW wasn't. The 77 Aston Martin would take advantage of that and of problems later on for the J-Lock car with a pit lane penalty. The 77 car, the debut for the new shape, new power plant, Aston Martin would take the win. LMP3, well, was a battleground all afternoon. It was a run to the front from Alessandro Bressan at the start of the race. He led after starting 5th and would drive off into the distance in LMP3. That looked a foregone conclusion at one point, but then this. With Lancieri at the wheel coming in, looks like an electronics problem or figure trouble. That car sat stationary as the cars went back to green. That handed a dominant lead to the number 13 Inter-Europol competition Ligier. Nigel Moore and Martin Hipper, defending champions, the number 13 crew, and they would come home for a dominant win in the junior LMP class. LMP2 though would serve out some astonishing performances and some astonishing entertainment. A 7-car Gibson engined grid with the Thunderhead Carlin Dallara fending off the close attentions fall. This was the determining move though, balked by a yellow flag period up the inside of the anti-penultimate corner. Up the inside went Harry Tinknell down the main straight to win from the previous leader, the 26 Algarve operated G-Drive branded Aris by 0.378 of a second. Thunderhead by Carlin take their first ever LMP2 win anywhere.
LMP2 podium, and it's a very happy Thunderhead Carlin racing team. They take the top spot, but what a great run from G-Drive Racing in both qualifying and race. They're second, while pole sitters Eurasia Motorsport are third. To the LMP2 AM podium, no joy for ARC Bratislava as you have to finish to be up there, but that's what Rick Ware Racing and RLR M Sport did. RLR with the win, Rick Ware in second. In LMP3, a familiar sight into Europol on the top step, but they were pushed by two new teams, Graf in second and Nielsen Racing with a solid third. Here's the GT podium, DeStation Racing lasted out their rivals to take the win, while J-Lock are a close second and Astro Veloce Motorsport get their first points in third. There was drama post-race though when the car that took the checkered flag received a time penalty, the Carlin team having made an error on driving time for Ben Barnicoat. That dropped the number 45 Dallara down to third, the number 26 Oris 01 from G-Drive by Algarve takes the win, the first Russian team to win in the Asian Le Mans Series. Philippines-based Eurasia's number 36 Ligier takes second.
What a fantastic 4 hours of endurance racing that was, and what a great way to start the season. So we hope you have been thoroughly entertained by all of that, the suspense, the thrill, the excitement, and even some disappointments, all the ups and downs. So we have waved the checkered flag, we've popped the champagne, only one thing left for us to do, which is to remind you to join us in the next round. The Asian Le Mans Series is headed down under for the first time, so be sure you join us there because we're going to be promising you some more racing action. Until then, it is goodbye from here in Shanghai. Thank you for joining us on the Asian Le Mans Series.